Welcome back to Speaking Spiritually. We are your hosts. I'm Amy.
And I'm Felix.
And Felix is a world-renowned psychic medium with over 100 five-star reviews on Yelp, a year-long waiting list to be seen. He reads everyday people. He reads celebrities. He does it for a living. Today's episode is going to be about past lives. So first, I want to tell Felix or remind him of a story that he told one of my friends, Kat, at a group reading that we had at my mom's house. And she had asked you, do we have past lives?
Mm-hmm.
And do I have a past life? And you told her, yes, you had a past life. Actually, you died on a motorcycle. And right when you said that, her face was like shocked. Her mom's face was shocked. And her mom said, that's so crazy, because when Katia was small and we were teaching her to ride a two-wheel bicycle, she fell off, screamed at the parents, why are you trying to kill me? Like, had this huge reaction, ran inside the house and slammed the door. And you said that's because she had a flashback from her past life.
Previous experience. Yeah.
Yes.
So you tell me this and I don't remember, because a lot of everything comes through me, not from me. So just hearing this, like, wow, I didn't even know that was said. But I will say, in that moment, Spirit told me she had died on a motorcycle. And it's nice to hear the parents actually
like the validation of it.
Yeah.
So she also has a big red birthmark right here on her thigh. Yeah. So we're wondering, could that be like from a past life? Like
a lot of people talk about this, actually. Other psychics and mediums I've heard say this, but in my own experience, yes, sometimes people have a birthmark that they can't actually connect to a past life with. For instance, a birthmark on their face or birthmark on their arm, and they actually feel a connection to what it was, whether they were stabbed or shot. And oftentimes, yeah, it's a pretty interesting thing.
Wow, that's actually really interesting. We just figured it was from the past life after you had said the story, and we went through that story.
And I had no idea she had that scar.
Right. No, you didn't. Wow. You didn't know anything about, never know anything about the people I bring over for group readings. And your assistant, when you do personal readings, does he tell you anything about?
Absolutely tells me nothing.
Not even the first name?
Just the first name. He'll put the first name in my calendar, and that's fine. Some people call with a fake first name. That's fine. Doesn't matter. But no, he hears a lot of stories.
Oh, wow.
But he tells me nothing, and he knows I don't want to hear anything. It's like, if I hear any details to a story, it kind of can mess with the objectivity of it.
Okay.
But if I do hear it, it's fine. It's not going to ruin a reading. But I prefer to know nothing about the people who come to me. Right. Even when I'm starting a reading, someone say, okay, my husband died. I'm like, okay, my dear, let's stop there. Okay, and I know now your husband died, but please don't tell me anything, because I like them to tell me. And so it's more powerful. But yeah, I can still work with someone comes to me and says their mom died. That's okay. She'll give me information and validation, so she knows I'm talking to her mom. I'm not worried about that.
Okay. Yeah, and so that's the same like that's been with group readings. Every time I have 10 women come over, or men, you never know who they are.
Right.
And I tell them that. They're always surprised. So that gets into the first question of, do we have past lives?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
I can share one with everyone here of my own personal experience. When I was growing up with my two sisters, the middle one, I'm the oldest of three. So the middle one would always say to me, stop trying to be my dad. And I never really understood it. I was just babysitting her because my parents both worked the night shift. So she would scream this all the time, and I never thought I was trying to be her dad. And one day in college, much, much later, after growing up, right? Much later, I had a vision. It was a vision within a dream, where everything was black, and I had this like reality where I could touch your paper, pick it up and touch it. And it's sort of like, I guess they call it lucid dreaming.
Yes.
But this was so real. It was actually happening. And I looked down at my body, and this wasn't me. I was a tall white man with suspenders, and I saw my sister, who was in the vision, my daughter. And I said, Rebecca, come back here. And it was actually my daughter in the vision, but yet I knew, looking at her, that it was really my sister.
Oh, wow. Oh my God. That's insane. So did you contact her and say, I know why you kept saying that?
Absolutely.
And she was
it made sense now.
And did she So do you guys still get those feelings in this life a little bit? Like I know she did when you guys were kids, but do you still get the feeling now that you
Oh
know at all?
yeah,
Like, oh,
sometimes I do, but I hear people talk about it all the time. They have a certain abnormal or irrational fear of something. It definitely has to do with the past,
oh wow.
another lifetime, or another
Like a
experience.
real phobia?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, because I have a
Not to
phobia.
say all of it is, but
Right. Like the
you have this
motorcycle
inner
incident.
knowing. For instance,
Yes.
yes, that.
Gosh, wow, that's insane. Okay. So how many past lives do we have?
So I hear a lot of different numbers. I personally don't know firsthand. I'm going to say I've heard between 40 to 50. Some people have had 10. I really don't
Wow,
know.
50?
I can say, though, that we've had enough experience to know everything we know, to feel what we feel up to this point in this life. So, in other words, we bring with us a lot of emotional connections, a lot of certain fears, phobias, and tendencies from other
Oh, okay.
lifetimes.
So we do, because I was going to ask you, is
Yeah.
there something that influences us in this life from a past life? But there
Well,
is.
absolutely. It can be all the above. It can be spirit, it can be our higher self, it can be experience from the last life, from the most previous life. One time I was doing a reading and she said, "Can you tell me where I was in my last life?" I said, for some reason, I had to really make sure she was okay. I said, "Are you sure you want to know?" She said, "Yes."
Oh, wow.
And immediately I saw the Holocaust, just really, really heavy.
Oh,
I said, "You were in the Holocaust." And she was shaking. She put her hands over her face and started crying. I said, "I'm sorry, dear. You did ask the question, but yes." She says, "Felix, I've always known that." So people know.
wow.
People know. They often know without really knowing.
Okay, well, I remember I saw a TV show a long time ago where it was kids who were talking about their
Oh,
past
yeah.
lives, and it was crazy because they were like saying like for instance I died in 9/11, and then actually going with people to find out who they were, and then like seeing pictures of themselves like these kids, and they were like,
They
"Oh yeah, that
said,
was me. I
yeah,
jumped
that.
out of that building." I
Mhm,
like that's so crazy. So kids can remember it more so,
correct.
or
Because
psychics
they're
or
closer to the source,
okay.
right? But what I've understood and gathered from my sessions is that the past is real, past lives are real.
Okay.
However, we are in this life, and at sometimes for some people, the past can be relevant to this life. It can explain why they are the way they are here and help them to heal through that. But been what I realized doing all these readings that I've done is that this life is the most important one. And yes, we do schlep things from the past, but it's important to stay present in this one.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. So this is
Yeah,
the most important one, the one that you're
absolutely.
currently living.
Right.
Is there anybody who's had only one life? This is their first life.
I have yet to meet someone when I have read for their past life or read for them. I have yet to meet someone who's had less or only one.
Okay. Okay. So most people have at least 2 to 3.
From my personal experiences.
Okay. Um, are there past life connections with people?
Absolutely.
Okay. So
What do you mean
soul
by the?
family. Is there a
Yeah.
soul
So
family?
I really believe in my 25 years as a medium, I have learned that we come into this life with what I call kindred spirits. Some people say
Oh,
soulmate, but we do come into this life.
I've heard you say that about my kids before, that they're kindred spirits.
Yes, we come into this life with a group of kindred souls. Some are across the world that you have yet to meet or may never meet.
Okay.
Some have been born at this time. Some have will be born. You will meet, but we all connect to the people that we're meant to in this life, and that
And you
yes,
travel like how you said with your sister. You were her
yes,
dad.
absolutely.
Okay.
And it doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that we have to agree that happened, but one or two will. No, we
Right.
both in this case knew. So yes, we connect with our loved ones that are past here, but we also connect with people we haven't met yet, and we recognize them. We recognize their
Mm.
soul. That
So
happened
that's
to
when you're
me.
feeling like I know you. So what happened?
Yes.
Tell me what happened with
Well, I
you.
was on a cruise with my partner at the time of only a year and a half we were together, and I saw this person come towards me, and I looked at him. He looked at me, and yeah, he was a good-looking person, but I'm thinking something more here. And we smiled at each other, and I looked at him. I said, "It's good to see you again." And he gave me a hug, and we both
Oh,
felt very
wow.
emotional. It was really irrational. And my partner at the time said, "What was that?" And I said, "It had to be from another lifetime, because I feel like I know this person,
So
and he knows
weird.
me." And we both got emotional. And so, yes, that was a big surprise when that happened.
Okay.
That never happened to me personally.
But are you still connected? Did you guys end up?
We are still connected.
Oh,
Yes,
wow. So you were meant to meet again in
I
this
absolutely
lifetime.
believe that.
Wow. Are you guys close?
We're not as close now, but I feel like we were before. And oftentimes we see this. We just because we were close in another life doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to be or should be close in this life. I think a lot
Okay.
of people mistakenly think that.
Hmm.
Oh, well, if they don't feel close to me, then maybe we weren't in the past. Well, no, you guys have worked through these things. And this is why one person might feel connection, but the other one may not.
Oh,
And so
okay.
then they're left to wonder, why don't they feel what I feel? Well, everyone's experience is different. We all learn what we need to according to our highest self.
Okay. Okay. That's really interesting. So what about soulmates? Are they part
Soulmates?
of like your soul family, or are they like someone you meet in
Absolutely,
this
yeah.
lifetime?
People, when people say the word soulmate, different people think different things. And it's
Okay.
it's it's really really what you feel. You're right. I've
Hmm.
never told someone, "Oh, you're wrong about this."
Okay.
Spirit uh, would never approach it that way, and neither would I, because everyone's experience is real.
It's like a soul connection that they're
Yeah.
feeling. It doesn't have to
Nobody
be a
can come
romantic.
through. Yeah, nobody can come and say validate or invalidate
Right.
an experience.
Okay.
When someone has an experience, they just know, right? They know
Right.
that they know and they feel it.
So,
But yes, we do give validation to those things too.
okay. So how many people are in your soul family?
Oh,
I'm just
it's
so curious.
innumerable. It's
Okay.
innumerable. If you really want to get down to the nitty gritty, everyone knows everyone on the other side.
Oh, wow. Okay. So we all know each other. I feel like
Yes.
I've known you
I
for
feel like
longer
I've
than
known
I've
you
known you.
too.
So we're
Absolutely.
definitely
Which
soul
is
family.
why we're all connected.
Yeah, we definitely
That's one
are.
thing in my 25 years as a medium that has brought me even closer to my friends and my relationships here in this realm is that we're all the same and we're all connected. We
Right.
all are connected.
Family. We're all family, soul
Yes.
family. So do you have any like
Some people
memorable?
you need to love from a distance, though.
That's true. A boundary.
Oh, everyone knows someone that they love, but they have to keep them at arm's length.
Yes.
Sorry.
Loving with it at a distance, loving with boundaries.
Yeah.
Um, okay. So is there any past life thing that's really stood out to you besides the reading with your sister that you've personally read for someone that you can share with us today?
So the past life I read for with the woman in the Holocaust was a really big one. I
Okay.
don't remember anything off the top of my head, but I'm sure if I looked in my notes,
You
I
could
could
find some.
find some very powerful experiences. They happen often, and I don't usually remember them because I see a lot of people. I see about 25 to 35 people a week
Right. I know.
for
You
25
see so many
years.
people. But
So,
so the lady in the Holocaust, because I
yeah,
just watched
she
this
had a
Holocaust thing.
visceral reaction.
Was she a Jewish person, or was she
No.
one of the guards or
Oh,
one of the people?
she, I believe, was one of the people who was
A
killed.
Jewish person.
Yes, a Jewish woman. But in this life, she wasn't Jewish.
Right. Okay, because I was just listening to something about soul contracts,
Mm-hmm.
and it was saying that, maybe it's unexplainable why something bad happens to people in this life. Like, why would this happen? Like, why would this person pass away who has a young child and not the old person?
Absolutely.
And what I was listening to in this podcast was they were saying that it could be from a soul contract, from maybe like during the Holocaust, they were someone who murdered millions of people.
It's always from a soul contract.
Okay.
There's nothing else because there's no rationality behind a child passing,
Right.
right? There's no rational.
Like you can't rationalize it in the
No,
human world.
no. And all the readings that I've done with people who've been murdered, they come through and they're all happy and they're all very knowing why it happened, they explained to us that it was all planned out before they came here.
Right.
And we
Okay.
have a hard time wrapping our head around that, right?
Yes, I
Of
think
course
that's
we
the
do.
hard part about being a
And
human.
that's our limitation, though.
Okay.
And that's when spirit comes in and says, yes, child, but this was all planned for the greater good of everyone. This was all planned for the greater good of those who suffered and those who caused the suffering. You see,
Mm-hmm.
I always say when you get on to the other side, you thank all your people who were horrible to you. You thank them.
Right. Everyone seems happy and
It's a
forgiving on
role.
that side.
We're all playing a role.
Here on in life.
Yes, here on this earth plane.
Okay.
We all are playing a part. We have to play who we are. We
Mm-hmm.
can't be anyone else.
Wow, that's so interesting. Okay. So that is true. It's written out before you come on its whole
From
contract.
my experience as a medium, that is what they have told me.
Okay. And this
And
was
I
another
trust
medium
them.
podcast, and they were saying the same thing that you're saying now.
Yeah.
That it is from the
yes.
soul contract. You get all like these spirit guides come together
Yes.
while you're in the
This
other.
isn't groundbreaking. This has been known
right.
for many ages and throughout time. And it's nice to know
Yeah.
that everything that happens to us has a higher purpose.
Right. So maybe we can just explain real quick what a soul contract is, or what we believe it to
Yeah.
be. What I believe it to be is that you have a group of spirit guides who come together when you're planning to come back to this life,
Yes.
and you write this contract.
So we have spirit guides, we have angels, we have master guides. So yeah, we basically, and you can actually hear this with people who've died and come back. I personally have not died and come back, but you hear accounts of
in
people.
This lifetime. He means
Yes.
he has had past lives.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And people who say they remember standing around a large table with huge sheets of like pictures and pages of written, this
Oh.
is what we're planning to do, this is what you've decided, we all love you, and you're going to forget we had this conversation, but you're about to go in utero and have a new physical experience. So imagine being free spirits talking with your guides and everyone helping to plan your next incarnation, right?
Oh wow.
And then all of a sudden you're put into this little body with nerves and bones and blood and dense energy and light that now hurts your eyes, right?
Right.
So yes, this is being born.
Oh wow, that is so interesting.
This is how spirits have explained it to me when I've asked them.
Okay, so this is so this is how it works. So everything that happens to us, it's happening to help our soul grow,
and also to help the souls of others grow.
Okay.
And let me share real quick
Yes,
an
please.
example of this. Not every person who comes into this world comes in for themselves and their own soul's growth. Some come in just for the growth of others.
That makes a lot of sense when you see other people's lives, like, and how they turn out sometimes. Wow. So some people come for other people.
Absolutely. And I have a client who works in San Quentin, and she has to take care of a man who murdered over 50 people.
Oh, wow.
And her job is to take care of his health. And he comes in, hello, Mrs. Lopez, how are you doing? He washes his hands. We would call them sociopath or psychopathic, right? But for instance, that's an example of someone who came into this life.
Wow.
For another purpose other than himself.
Oh, wow.
For us.
But also the murderer, you could say the same thing for, because he was here to take out all of these, sadly, but.
Yeah, it's a very interesting topic that I've had over the years of being a medium.
Wow, yeah, it's a very interesting topic, and I know that everybody would want to hear about it, so I definitely want us to touch on past lives and how powerful they are and what they bring into this life.
Yes.
So I think that was great.
Thank you so much for sharing your experiences too, and sharing experiences that I had didn't realize I had.
Yes, well, thank you for sharing. Thank you, guys. All right, bye.